Hi, this is Shop Talk. I'm Raquel Rodriguez. People take on side jobs to expand their income stream or to pursue their passion. Whichever the case may be, it takes a lot of commitment to be successful at both your main and side job. Today, we'll feature two corporate employees who work as photographers on the side. Joining us in this episode are lawyer Leanne Bocoro and software developer Paulo Benguero. Hello, Leanne and Paulo. Thanks for coming to the show today.
Hello, Raquel.
Hello. Leanne, you have a background in psychology.
Yes.
As well as a law degree.
Yeah.
When did you decide to pursue law, and for how long have you been practicing now?
I've been a lawyer for 2 years. I passed the bar in 2008. I started, well, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer since I was young, since at home we only had two options. We could either take up med or law. That's what we were raised to think that way. But now, of course, I know better. But ever since I was young, so I aimed to become a lawyer. So I took up AB Psychology as a pre-law course, and then I went to UP to study law.
Now, Paulo, you have a Bachelor of Science in Engineering.
Yeah.
And you're a software developer.
Yeah.
Have you always known that information technology industry was where you wanted to be?
Yes, of course. I got my high school degree in Don Bosco. It was a technical college, so we have some technical subjects. So I love computers, I love to program. So I've been in the industry for around 10 years now. So during that time, IT was really booming. So I told myself, and my mom told me that it will be a high-paying job.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, both practicing law and you software developing, they're both demanding careers. At what point in your career did you decide, I'm going to take photography as a side job?
For me, I've been doing photography since 2003 when I started with film cameras with lomography, and then I got too busy when I was in law school. So it wasn't until 2009 when I actually took it seriously. My brother bought me a DSLR in 2007, and then in 2009 I applied as an apprentice for imagination photography. At that time, well, it was a fad, wedding photography, so I thought, why not try it? And I wanted to invest also in that, so that's what I did.
Yeah, I took it seriously around 2008. That was when I got my DSLR.
Okay.
So when I was initially, you're buying lenses and flash,
Right.
and then I seem to notice that it's draining my bank account. so that's why it dawned upon myself that maybe I could try to do this as a sideline.
Now, it definitely sounds like a passion, photography, for the both of you.
Yeah.
Now, photography also has many multiple facets and genres, from nature photography to fashion photography. What type of photography do you specialize in, Leanne?
Right now, we do weddings, mostly weddings, and we also do events, birthdays, and corporate events. But mostly it's weddings.
Mostly weddings. And yourself?
Yeah, just like Leanne, I specialize in weddings, events, debuts, parties, and recently I tried doing some newborn.
Right, and how is that going?
It's not that well right now because I'm just starting. I shot my son is 3 months old. So
See, now 3 months, I
Yeah,
could
3
imagine
months,
it
yeah.
being somewhat difficult because you can't really communicate with your subject.
exactly.
How did that go for you?
Yeah, my wife is helping me
Okay.
raise the babies because my wife works as a preschool teacher, so she knows how to relate with kids. So she posts the baby and I take the shot.
Wow. So what would you guys say is the rewards of doing photography as a side job?
For me, it makes my life more interesting, and it gives me a better appreciation of what I do with both jobs. So
Right.
for example, if I get too bored with the law, I still have the weekend to look forward to. And then with photography, I get to meet a lot of people, and it also gives me pleasure to shoot people I love, my family, my friends.
Right.
And well, of course, there's the extra income also. But more than that, it's just the fulfillment I get from shooting.
Yes, for me, the practical side of things, you get paid doing what you love. So why don't you do it, right? And at the same time, like in weddings, I got a natural high
Right.
shooting weddings with the emotions involved. You see people, you see couples happy, people are crying.
Right.
So
Now, I can imagine with both full-time careers, by day and moonlighting as a photographer by night, there are some challenges with how to divide the time between both of your professions. How do you time manage that, Paulo?
Oh, basically, of course, you start your day, you go to your main job. It's a usual 9 to 6 office job. So after that, that's the time that I dedicate myself to photography, doing, answering client inquiries, doing some post-processing and photos, and then you do your research. And then you might ask, I have a 3-year-old son, so how do I balance it also? 3 months old. So when I post-process, I put him on my lap. And then, okay, baby, we will post-process this picture. Isn't this pretty?
Now, for law as well, that's quite a demanding profession.
Yeah.
How do you divide the time between the two professions?
For me, Monday to Fridays, I do my legal work, and then for the weekends, I just dedicate it to photography. Right now, I'm fortunate because I work in the government, so the time is not as the work is not as demanding as like in a law firm. So at 4:30, we're dismissed from work, so I can do whatever I want. I can sort my photos, edit them, and burn them. And that's also when I respond to inquiries, email my clients. But during the weekends, that's when I shoot. But when there are times when weddings are in demand, like for example last December, I had to use my leaves. Like before, I had 5 mandatory leaves, so I used all of them just to shoot weddings.
Wow. Now, with that
month.
said, a good support system is very important. How important is it for the both of you to have accommodating bosses?
It's very important that we have accommodating bosses, and it's seldom that they really understand what we go through. So at least, like what I said, they give us leaves at the office, so at least I can use that whenever I need to.
As for my part in our office, as long as I log the usual 40 hours.
As long as you get the work done.
Get the work done. And it's good, and they have no qualms about my wedding photography.
Great.
The same way, I also, because in our work, it's also more output based. So it's just like that. Just like Paolo's case, as long as I deliver, they don't have any complaints about whether I go to work.
Right. Now, a side job, I could imagine, can also be challenging. What are some of the challenges that you've both experienced with photography as a side job?
Well, for me, fatigue. Because there are times when I shoot Saturday and then Sunday.
Right.
So usually, per wedding, it takes at least 10 hours. So it can be physically draining. When Monday rolls in, sometimes I still don't want to get out of bed. So sometimes I text the secretary na be late. And then also there are times when there are conflicts, like people would inquire for weekday weddings.
Right.
And I can't promise them that I can shoot. So.
And how do you manage to accommodate that then when there's like these unexpected weekday shoots, and obviously you work full-time as a lawyer?
Well, I set aside my leaves for those days. So so instead of using them for vacation or for other things, I use it for weddings. So.
Yeah, for me, one of the challenges is how to balance your time. So basically, I just make sure that I get the work done early in the office, so I could go home. So you could, go to photography and do your post-processing work. At the same time, as Lian mentioned, there are sometimes conflict.
Right.
Wherein sometimes you need to shoot prenups on weekdays. So you try to schedule your leaves by then.
Now, photography isn't necessarily an inexpensive profession. The cost of lenses, how do you guys accommodate that?
Through our day jobs.
Our salaries.
That's why we can't let go.
So it's kind of important to have
that you have
the
your
main source
job.
of income. Right.
You can't live just with photography, especially if you're starting. So you only get minimal salary when you shoot. So you have to have another job for that.
Yeah, and when you're starting, you cannot charge high.
Right.
Because you don't have a portfolio. How would clients book you, and let's say you're saying, I cost around 80,000. 80,000 what? Where's your portfolio?
Wow,
So you cannot do that. Right?
Now, you guys have both mentioned that starting as a photographer in a side job. Do you look to potentially expanding and making this a main source of income for you in the long run?
For now, not yet. Like I mentioned, it's expensive to upgrade your lenses, upgrade your camera gear. So right now, I think as long as I can do both photography and my legal work at the same time, I'll just do it like this.
Yeah, for me, I would like to take it one step at a time because I'm not sure if I go full-time right now, if I could support my family based on the income that I generate from
Right.
photography. So it's important that I have my main job, especially for a person like me who has already a family. So it's somewhat a safety net for you that you have the
for
15th
sure.
and the 30th, the salary that you get twice a month.
Now, from doing weddings, events, parties, and even newborn photos, what would you guys say is the ballpark figure or starting rate for a photographer?
Starting rate. It depends on the package. It's the
Yeah, of course, it depends on the package. Are you asking what's the starting
Well,
For the
for
basic.
a general like wedding package then, for a
Okay.
photographer fee, what essentially can customers look forward to in terms of ballpark figure rates?
for our studio, if you get the junior rate, you get labor only. You only get the CD of the pictures, no album. We charge 15,000 pesos for
Oh,
two
wow.
photographers.
Okay.
Yeah, just like around that figure.
Right. Okay.
Around 15 for labor only.
That's
And
the
now
most
you've done,
basic.
Paulo, you've done events
Yeah.
even for work. How much would you normally charge for an event or a party separate from a wedding?
For starters, I think it's around 1,000 per hour.
1,000 per hour? That's not bad at all. A very, very nice side business, side job for something that you guys both love doing, right?
You get paid for it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll feature Leanne and Paulo's best works after this break. Stay tuned. Shop Talk will be right back.
At Planters Bank, we're committed to small and medium enterprises,